good morning. It's only me today. I know it feels empty. Minion's got an issue with his eye, so he won't be joining us today, but he's fine. And Peter kind of used his mat for a train station, and he feels too guilty to pick up his mat. So there's two reasons why he's not joining today. So it's Pilates again today. Pilates repeat from yesterday, or a different set of stuff. So when you're ready, we're going to start in the standing again at the back of your mat. Yes. Show them your eye. Show them your eye.
That's embarrassing.
Look at Lee's eye. Minion. Look at that.
Can you see?
Look at that.
It's a cyst.
Ugh.
Yeah. Hi.
He's, in one sense, he's quite glad he's not training today, so he's being a little bit cocky. Okay, at the back of your mat, shrug your shoulders back, tuck your tailbone in. Just shrug it back a little bit. Just loosen it up. Just push this in the right direction. I'm going to bump it. And then lift up your arms. Shrug your shoulders back and down and just bend your knees to go into your first chair pose. This way. First chair pose, take your knees over your toes, arms next to your ears, tummy in, and you're going to sweep the floor, stay down for that stretch, keep your knees bent. Exhale, fold, keep the knees bent though. Sweep the floor and lift up into chair pose. Hold the chair, tummy in, feet forward, knees forward, and sweep down. Go for your stretch. Keep the legs still bent, tummy in, navel to spine. Stretch, stretch. And sweep the floor, lift up into your chair. Sweep the floor again and into that stretch. And you should start to feel a little bit more of a relief in the hamstrings. They should feel a little bit better when you go into that stretch. Navel to spine. And bend it in chair pose. Sweep the floor into chair, arm next to your ears. Run your knees over your toes, just to stretch out the calves anyway. And just hold. Tummy in, back straight. Sweep the floor, last stretch, and that should feel a lot better. Walk your hands forward and push into a downward dog. Just stretch it out, walk it out a little bit. Stretch those calves. Keep the legs engaged, back straight, shoulders back and down. And knees to the floor, elbows down. You're going to go into a dolphin today. So elbows down, tuck your toes under, lift up your bum and push back into dolphin. And just hold that stretch. Gillian, if you can't do this, just do a plank or plank with the knees down, or anything that lightens up the pressure in your shoulders. Hold the dolphin. Push away from the shoulders, and we're going to rock it forwards into a low plank. And today we're just rolling forwards and back, forwards and back. Yesterday we did the legs. Today we just roll forwards and back, forwards and back. Everything tucked in and straight, and then push back. To dolphin, just walk your feet in a little bit because you usually have to adjust slightly when you go from dolphin to low plank. Just hold the dolphin. And forwards into low plank. Scoot your feet back a little bit. And we're just going to rock it forwards and back, forwards and back. Knees down, onto your hands, push back into downward dog. And now you can slowly walk your hands in, and you can put your heels down, bend your knees a little bit, and come into a forward bend. Sweep the floor, lift up into a chair. Hold that chair on next to your ear. So think of your posture, tummy in, you can ride your knees over a little bit, push your bum back, keep your back straight, arms next to your ears, don't drop your head. Sweep the floor, stretch. And that should really start to feel a little bit better now. So your stretch should feel a little bit relieved. Tummy in, back straight, pivot from your hips. Sweep the floor, chair pose, arms next to your ears. If you really struggle with the shoulders, you can put them in your hips and just hold the chair pose position with your body, the rest of your body. Sweep the floor, stretch. One more time, bend the knees into chair pose. Hold it there. And sweep the floor, stretch. Walking forward. One more time into downward dog. Find your stretch, walk it out a little bit. Tummy in. And push back into that downward dog. Knees down, elbows down. And again, with this one, you can either put the knees on the floor, just kind of use this time to do a little bit of shoulder work without the pressure of the knees lifted, Jillian. So you can do this. This will be fine, just to get those back of the shoulders moving. For the rest of you, if you don't have shoulder issues, tuck your toes under, go into dolphin. Hold your dolphin, push away. Just hold that, get that push, that extension, that upward rotation of the scapula. Shoulders back and down though. Forwards to plank, no plank. Tuck the tailbone in, shoulders over your elbows and rock it forwards and back. And back to dolphin. Adjust the feet again so that you're in a nice little dolphin. Push it back. This is quite a powerful upward rotation, so some people will find this easy, some people will find this impossible. So just adjust it according to your ability to hold this shoulder position. Shoulders back and down. Forwards to plank again. Rock it forwards and back. Forwards and back. Nice and slow. Keep the navel to spine. Knees down. Child's pose. Shake out your arms. Get your bum on your heels. If you sit back a little bit, you'll feel that stretch after those low planks in your quads. So just stretch it a little bit. Float the shoulders back. And then walk it down into child's pose. Stretch out. And then you can turn yourself over onto your bottoms. Sit your legs out straight in front of you in a V shape. Sit up nice and high on your seat bones. Straighten out your back. Feet facing up, so flex your feet. Open up your arms, shrug your shoulders back and down. We're just going to do a little bit of saw. So you're going to take opposite hand to opposite feet into that twist. Keep it high. And first we're going to swish to the other side. So swish to the other side, keep it high. Just get used to that twist. Swish it back. And swish it back. And with the next swish, once you're in the twist, you're going to go down and look back into that spinal twist. Lift it back up. Swish to the other side, go down, look back into that twist. Lift it back up. Don't go for a severe twist down. Just go to where you're comfortable and your back is still straightish and you're not feeling like you're doing this. Shoulders still straight and stacked. And lift it up, switch, go down, look back, keep the shoulders up, and back to the middle. You can bring your legs in and run it forward into that stretch. Keep the back straight. Hold that stretch. You can look down and kind of reach forward. This one you can bend down a little bit. Lift it back up to the top, straighten out and roll it down. Tuck in your tailbone, roll it down to the bottom, and relax. Let me just find a nice little position and just relax. Okay, bring your feet in underneath your knees and just take your legs from side to side just to loosen up your back a little bit more. We're going to do that side lift again that we've done. I think we did it last week, if I remember correctly. We're not going to do loads. Oh, sorry. I'm feeling drained today. I have no reason to feel drained. And back to the middle. Okay, lie on your side, the side facing me first. And straighten out your legs. The bottom arm to the front, because you're going to use that. We've done this before. You're going to use that for the weight. Keep your tummy in, keep everything nice and straight, feet slightly forward. And you're going to lift up into that, they call it a V, I think. Lift up into that. Hold that. You can press into that arm a little bit, but not loads. And all you're going to do is you're going to reach for your foot, leave the bottom leg, lift up the top, and go back to the start where you're just in that V. Reach it up and down. Now don't lean into the arm that's keeping you up. Just pressure into it a little bit. I would say it's almost impossible to take it away and hold this position perfectly, so also don't try and take it away. It is like a legal cheat. So just up and down with that leg. Keep that bottom leg up. And we're going to do 4 more of these. 3 and 4. And then go down all the way to the floor. Turn back onto your backs. Bring your feet in underneath your knees. And we're just going to lift up into that toe bridge again we did yesterday. So you're going to lift up. Once you're up, you're going to scoot your arms underneath your hips. Maybe bring your feet in, go onto your toes. Knees forward if you can. And then you're going to lift up the right leg. Stretch that out. Squeeze the standing bottom. Keep the tummy in. And you're just going to half moon circles to the in. So like we do when we're standing, half moon, small half moons to the in. Just be careful if you drop that leg. It is quite heavy on the standing leg. And we're just going to do 5. I think we're at 4. And take that down. Stay lifted. If you felt a little bit of unstableness when you did the half moon circles, just keep your leg in the air and don't do the movements. Hands underneath your hips. Lift up the other leg in that stretch. And half moon circles to the in, small half moon circles to the in. Navel to spine. 3, 4, and 5. Take it back down. And roll onto your other side in a straight line. Bottom arm out to help you with the pressure. Nice straight line with your body. Feet a little bit forward because you are going to go onto that bum in that V formation. And then lift up into that V. Find that position. Tummy in, don't lean back. Keep it. Oh, I don't know how to explain this. It's not completely straight because that's impossible. You are leaning back a little bit, but that hip's not dropping further than a small angle. Okay, arm up, so top leg and down. Don't lean too much into the standing arm. I think I'm leaning too much into it now. Ah, that's better. And we're doing 4 more. This one is struggling on this side with my lean to. 3 and 4. Roll it back down, back onto your backs. And just take your legs from side to side. And back to the middle. Take your right leg down, hug in your left leg. Give it a big hug in. Stretch it out. Maybe take your right arm over your left knee and just pull that knee towards the right. And you should feel that. I feel that quite bad because I went for a jog. So you should feel that if you've worked those external rotators. Just pivot it a little bit to the right. So it's not a big pull. It's just a little pull. You should feel it. And it does ease off if you do feel it. So just hold it there. Whoa. And back to the middle. Hug it in. Straighten out that leg. You can lift up, give it a stretch. Lift up your shoulders. Give that leg a nice little stretch. Lift the other foot off, an inch off the floor. Lift up a little bit higher with your torso. And we're just going to switch, but we're not going to grab. So you're just going to switch, switch, switch. Nice and fast, not too fast so that you're rolling off your back. Keep stable on your back and just switch. And then when you grab in the other leg. So you're grabbing in the right leg. Take the other one down, hold that stretch. Stay up. Give it a nice little stretch. You can take your head down to rest it if you want to. You don't have to stay in this position. Lift the other foot an inch off the floor, let go, and you're going to switch. Again, nice and fast, but not too fast, not too slow. Just a nice little rhythm for that switch. Keep your shoulders up. Tuck your chin in, that helps a little bit, but if you struggle, you can hold on to your neck to help you. And, sorry, I'm in the right leg again. I didn't know what I was doing there. Hug in the right leg again, hug that knee in, and just take your left hand over your right knee, and just roll it a little bit to the left. And again, you should feel that in your bottom, especially if you've had a jog and you're using the wrong muscles like I did. Pull that over, just wait for the relief of that stretch. And hug it back in. Take your feet to the floor. Just the hundreds, horrible hundreds I've done. We're going to do simple hundreds with the feet on the floor. So roll it up, arms out to your sides, and just bounce your arms into the hundreds. Your shoulder is sore, you can just stop the bouncing. You can just stay there, do whatever you want. You can hold on to your neck with one arm if your neck is sore. So do adjust it. Keep your navel to spine. Do adjust this if you feel uncomfortable or something feels wrong. So don't do something that's hurting or feels wrong or is painful or any of the above. And then bring your legs into a block shape, 90-90. Ooh, feel my neck suddenly. Never feel my neck. That's strange. Good. And hug in your knees. So we're going to toe tap immediately now that our tummies is a little bit warm. So bring your arms next to your side, tuck your chin in, and your legs is in the 90 degree angle, and you're just toe tapping. So the knee stays, the feet stays exactly where it is. The shape doesn't change of the legs. You're just dropping the knee, toe tapping. Keep your navel to spine. Make sure your back isn't arching when you toe tap. If you can't take it to the floor, I did something with my neck. If you can't take it to the floor, then keep it in the air, but just make sure your back isn't arching. And we're just going to toe tap, navel to spine feeling. Keep that in, and just keep doing that. Shoulders down, chin tucked in. And back to the middle. Now we're going to double toe tap. You can put your fingertips underneath your bottom to help you not arch. So double tap and bring it back. Double tap, bring it back. You can squeeze it in actually if you want, just for a little abdominal squeeze. Double tap, bring it in. Double tap, bring it in. Double tap, bring it in. Don't arch the back. Keep everything nice and steady. Do single taps if you struggle doing the double taps. If you struggle holding your back in place. And you can squeeze it in. Like the flip flops. And hug in your knees. Take your feet to the floor. I'm going to have my hands behind my ears now because I've had that little, I think I twinged something in my neck. So we're going to do the hundreds again. So you can either do the hundreds like this, and I'm just going to hold on to my neck and squeeze up a little bit in the motion of the hundreds. So navel to spine, squeeze up a little bit if you're not doing the hundreds like this. And then bring your legs 90-90 and still do the hundreds. Hug in your knees, take your head down, just massage your back, take your feet to the floor. And we're going to do the toe taps again. But if your legs really, really is sore, just switch that to the hundreds or just alternate it a little bit because it does get quite stingy in the legs. So when you're ready, head down 90-90 with your legs and start to do your single toe tips. You can bring that knee in for a squeeze as well. So you don't have to keep it 90-90. It's actually quite fun to do that. Fun. Shoulders down, chin tucked in if you can, navel to spine. This is a nice little transverse abdominals exercise. Legs back to 90-90, and now we're going to double toe tap without lifting up that lower back. So control it. If there's a slight movement in there, that's absolutely fine. You can squeeze those knees in. It's big arch. It's like a release arch where your ribs flare and your back is completely arching. So keep those ribs down. That's a nice little sign that you're holding position. And drop your feet down. Just open up your legs, soles of your feet together. Just let just let that stretch. Woo! Just let that go. Well, we know it worked. And bring it back to the middle. We've got leg switches again. So bring in your left knee, take the right leg down to the floor. Just hug that knee in. I think we're going to do knee leg switches first and then straight leg switches. So lift up your shoulders to that knee, lift the other foot an inch off the floor or higher, that's up to you. Let go and switch with the bent knees in at a nice little pace. You can hold on to your neck, like I've said, if you struggle with the neck in the air thing. You can even take it down. Just be careful that you're not arching your back when your head is down. It's a little bit more difficult to control the back motion if the head is down, but it's possible. So if your neck is really sore, just put it down. You're not doing less of an ab and hip flexor work if your head is down. Now grab in the opposite knee. Take your head down, take the leg down, give it a rest. Shrug it in. You can move it around a little bit. Woo. And then straighten out this leg to the ceiling. Give it a nice stretch first. Nice little stretch. Then lift up your head, roll up, keep the abs in, lift the other foot an inch off the floor, let go, and do those switches again. Squeeze your abs. Now when you grab the opposite leg in, give that a stretch. Take your head down, just stretch that leg. And take the feet to the floor. Just soles of your feet together again. Open up the legs. Just let that, that feels a lot better. Let that stretch. We're going to roll up and down a few times and adjust the roll up. But so we're not stopping halfway and doing movements. We'll do that later again. I don't want to repeat too much. So take your legs out, take your arms over your head, roll it up, tuck your tailbone in, and try not to lift up your legs as you roll up. So roll it up nice and slow. Control that roll up until you get to the top. And then dive into that stretch. Oh, enjoy that. That feels nice. And we're going to do that twice. Nice and slow at your own pace. And then when we're going to come back to a seated and we'll adjust the roll up and roll down. So lift it up. Tuck the tailbone in. Roll it down. Stretch out the arms. And then come back to a roll up. Focus a lot on that spine movement and not lifting up the legs. Go into that stretch. Take your time, lift it up. Straighten out, tuck that tailbone in. Roll it down. All the way to the bottom. Arms over the head, lift it up, roll it up to the top. When you're up, dive into that stretch. Lift it back up and just sit. Bring your legs into a diamond shape. Now this is very difficult to do. So if you struggle with this, then just do the normal roll up as we go. So this, you're going to be tempted to lift up everything. So this is quite difficult. So bring your legs into a diamond shape, sit up nice and high, stretch forward first, which feels nice, and then lift it back up into a straight line, roll it down, drop your tailbone until you reach your back, take your arms over your head, keep your legs in that diamond shape. Just make sure that diamond shape is comfortable, because sometimes you have a pinch there that doesn't feel normal. Okay, now your leg muscles, your hip flexors is out of the way to help you up. So let's see how good we are. Roll it up, tuck that tailbone in, lift it up to the top, and stretch it forward. How did that go? How did that go? I love this one. It's a nice little surprise. Lift it back up, roll it down, nice and slow, until you reach your neck. And again, let's try that again. So legs into a diamond shape or feet together, just to take the hip flexors out, and roll it up. Oh, my legs are nice and close now, so it's even more difficult. And roll it up. Oh, I can't do it again. And into that stretch. How did that go? Grab your feet and just roll into that stretch. Enjoy the stretch. And then roll yourself over onto your hands and knees. Push into a cat stretch. And reverse into a cow. So just sit back, stretch out your quads a little bit. So we're going to finish in the same sequence we started in, because it's quite a powerful shoulder and leg sequence. So we're finishing exactly the way we started. So we'll finish in a standing. So when you're ready, just put your elbows on the floor, tuck your toes under, go into your dolphin, push back. So that's a massive, massive upward rotation of the shoulders, especially if your shoulders, you manage to get it back and down. Just hold that. Some people find this impossible, so if you struggle with this, it is difficult depending on your muscle strength in your shoulders and which ones are working well and which ones are a little bit lazy.